Okay. Good evening.
Good evening.
How many steps that we already talked now so far? 7?
Let's see.
Okay, then this would be the last one. This look like someone wanting to take this one. You want to cut it? Yes, this is the last one. We already finished 7 factors, 7 steps. So this is the 8th one, right concentration, Samma Samadhi. We are trying to achieve this. All our practice focus on these achievements. As a goal, we can keep this goal. To keep this goal, there should be interest. So today, talk is based on to develop your interest. Why we want to develop your samadhi, concentration. The way how you develop that concentration, already you learned. You know it. So the only thing now you need to know the benefits. Why? Concentration. What is the concentration's nature? There is a stanza that we use all the time in our meditation. Ending meditation, we use that stanza. Natti janang apanyassa panyanattya jayato yam janancha panyacha save nibbana santaki. There is no concentration without wisdom. No wisdom without concentration. One who has both wisdom and concentration is close to peace and emancipation. He is close to peace and emancipation. We have a word for that, nibbana, or enlightenment. That is our goal. So, concentration, there is a relationship with wisdom. To attain enlightenment, to realize the truth, to see things as they are, that is realization. To realize things as they are, we need wisdom. Without wisdom, there is no any realization. So then, to gain wisdom, we should develop concentration. Without concentration, there is no wisdom. As well as no wisdom without concentration. These two are working together. Who has both wisdom and concentration is close to peace and emancipation. He is the person who can attain enlightenment. He is the person who can realize the truth. So now, basically, you know what is concentration is. Concentration is the last step to gain wisdom. Wisdom is the main purpose of our practice. Not about other practice. Purposely, who are practicing Noble Eightfold Path, they are willing to gain wisdom. That is their main purpose of their practice, Noble Eightfold Path. When we start to talk about Noble Eightfold Path, you can't talk Noble Eightfold Path without talking wisdom. Because applying Noble Eightfold Path, you can gain wisdom. Wisdom is the main goal of this application. So then, let's see a little bit more about Samma Samadhi, or right concentration. The word concentration is very familiar to you. You know that word. Let's see with the teachings of the Buddha. Right concentration in Pali, Samma Samadhi. You know that the word, you know that both words. What is concentration? Concentration represents an intensifications of a mental factor present in the very state of consciousness. This factor, one pointers of mind, the Pali word for that, chitta ekaggata. Chitta ekaggata. In the morning, Bhante ji mentioned about two words, Yoniso Manasikara and Sati Sampajanya. Learning concentration and wise concentration. These two are in here with Samadhi. Samadhi. Yoniso Manasikara, person who has Yoniso Manasikara, that person have an ability to see the roots of their thoughts. To see the roots of their thoughts. Where the origin, nature, where the place, which regarding its origin, whether it is regarding anger, hatred, delusions, loving kindness, compassion, sympathy, all sides, wholesome and unwholesome, both sides that person can see with that concentration. So this is in a kind of deeper level. Samadhi means kind of deeper level of achievements regarding your thinking ability. So there is a word that we call analyzing. Analyzing. At the end, you can realize something. So that analyzing part can happen with the help of your concentration. So we are using our concentration to analyze. To analyze, you have to see things and figure it out as last result. Then you can come to conclusion. Okay, after result of this analyzing part, so this should be the result. This should be the final thing. So concentration is the most supportive thing, ability to do that analyzing part. According to Mahasatipatthana Sutta, you can see the way how we should analyze. You can see the way how you should analyze, and the way how you should apply that applications to yourself. Just regarding breath, happily breathe in and happily breathe out. How do you know whether you are breathing happily or not? You have to analyze it. And you have short breath and long breath. You have mixed breath. All these things that you can recognize with the help of your concentration. Concentration is upper level compared with mindfulness. Mindfulness kind of low level, but without mindfulness, there is no way to gain concentration. You need mindfulness. The first thing that you have to establish awareness, mindfulness, and concentration. So concentration is kind of deeper level ability of your thinking ability or regarding your mind capacity. Our mind have a lot of the skills, but without your concentration, there is no way to use that skills. So concentration is one of technique that we can use our mind to do right things and to achieve the highest level that we can achieve. At any given moment, the mind must be cognizant of something, a sight, a sound, a smell, a taste, a touch, or mental object. The factor of one-pointness unifies the mind and its other concomitants in the task of cognizance the object, while it's simultaneously exercise the functions of centering all the continuous of the cognitive act on the object. So this is another explanation about concentration. It's regarding sound, taste, smell, touch, mental objects. All these things are the things that we consider as a living person, what you are engaging, what you are doing. But at that, I mean, in first level, you don't have any awareness or any mindfulness, any connections with your mind. So then you don't know what you are doing, what is the taste, what is the smell, what kind of the smell is there, nothing. But when you start to develop your awareness, then you know something is there. Through your mindfulness, you know better than. Through your concentration, you exactly know what is happening there. So this is the way the connections with regarding wisdom. At the end, we have to connect with the wisdom. So this is the way how it's work, how concentration work. Samadhi is exclusively wholesome one-pointness, the concentration in wholesome states of mind. This is very important thing. When we talking about concentration, definitely it should be wholesome. It doesn't have any unwholesome effect. If there is any unwholesome thoughts, that is not real concentration. That is not concentration. That's why this is the difference that we have to keep in our mind. The mindfulness that we use in generally, you can hear while you are traveling in train, they make announcements all the time. Be mindful to take your belongings. At the airport, you can hear same thing, be mindful to take your belongings after checking. So all the time they say something regarding mindfulness. Is that the mindfulness that we are talking? No. If it is mindful, how about the thief who is engaging, who is stealing something from someone's house? His mindfulness is the greatest mindfulness. He is concerning about cameras. He is concerning about security alarms. He is concerning if there is someone coming. Sound, taste, feelings, everything he is concerning very much in top of level. But he is full of ignorance, desire, hatred might be. All these unwholesomeness is there with him. Therefore, it is not concentration or it is not mindfulness. When we talking regarding Noble Eightfold Path, when we start to talk about mindfulness or concentration, definitely it should be wholesome. There is no any clue, any part of thoughts regarding unwholesomeness, which we call desire, hatred, ignorance. This is one uniqueness. Concentration means completely pure thing. Concentration means completely away from unwholesome thoughts, no desire, no hatred, no ignorance. It means you already eliminated all these things. No, that is not meaning there. You don't have at that moment. It will come back again when you lose your concentration. It means something. Concentration can be loose. Concentration can be loose. How much effort you have, that much you can continue your concentration. It's like this. Later we're going to talk about jhana, the power of mental psychic power. So when we are attaining jhana, until you are staying that jhana, you don't have 5 hindrances. You don't have 5 hindrances. But when you come from that jhana, you are living with again five hindrances. In the same way, while you are staying with your concentrated mind, you don't have defilements, you don't have unwholesome thoughts, unwholesome effects of any unwholesome roots. You're completely clean and pure, wholesome. But when you are not in that concentration practice, so you're losing your wholesomeness. Unwholesome effects would be there. Unwholesome roots will arise in your mind, and then you may engage with some kind of unwholesome activities. But keep in your mind, through your samadhi concentration, when you are able to attain enlightenment, gain wisdom. Gain in wisdom when you realize Four Noble Truths, at that moment, it's not changing. It means at that moment, there is no way to have any kind of unwholesome roots there in your mind. It's completely eliminated all unwholesome roots. Eliminated means you neutralize. There is no chance to get effect of any unwholesome roots, unwholesome thoughts. Because your wisdom, you get it out. It's like this, the wisdom, just to get the idea about wisdom, how it's happening, like this. Just think about, years ago, we did not know anything about lightning, rain. So then what kind of stories was there? Maybe 100 years ago, 200 years ago, not only, even 50 years ago, there were people believe who were there, the thundering, lightning, because the gods are fighting there. As a result of that fights, we can see lights and we can hear sounds. People believe. And when raining, they thought the God is giving rain for us. These are the thoughts that we have. But later on, through our research and analyzing with the collecting data and things, now we know the way how we have rain. We know the circle. And we know the reasons why we have lightning, why we have thunder. We know that reasons. Scientifically, we can understand it, they prove it. Therefore, anymore we don't have that concept, oh, rain, God is giving rain. Oh, lightning, God is fighting there. We don't have that concept anymore. That concept fading away from our mind. That thoughts fading away because of your realization. There is no any chance to get back that thoughts in your mind because you already realize the science behind it. Same thing happening when you attain enlightenment. Through your wisdom, there is no way to lose your wisdom. You completely living with your mindfulness and concentration. There's no any chance to lose your concentration. That is the way it's happened with final goal, final achievements. Until then, there might be reasons to change your concentration, to lose your concentration. That's why even Venerable Devadatta, who was trying to kill the Buddha, was able to attain jhana, the higher level of concentration. But he was not able to attain enlightenment. He was living his whole life as a mundane person, even though having some jhanic power, jhanic attainment. There were so many ascetics who practice meditation, who attain jhana, but they were not able to attain enlightenment. They still in birth and death circle. who was there with the jhanic power, after their death, they might take place in different ways according to their karma. It can be happen. But the person who develop concentration and gain wisdom, who develop wisdom, who achieve the enlightenment, that person never lose his enlightenment. This is the difference. It means concentration is regarding mundane world. That is the highest level that mundane person can achieve as mundane person. But if someone going beyond that concentration level, that person can attain supramundane things which is not related to mundane nature. It's completely away from mind. So, but anyway, samadhi is something completely about wholesome. There's no any unwholesome at that moment, but it can be loose. The commentaries define samadhi as the centering of the mind and mental factors rightly and evenly on an object. So its commentary says so. Not only the commentaries, is the reality. It should be completely wholesome concentration, collects together the ordinarily disappeared and dissipated the stream of mental states to induce an inner unification. This is the way how it's explained in commentaries. Likewise, Path of Purifications is a book named about commentaries. The mind towards samadhi, which they will govern as the jhana factors, the factors of absorptions, jhananga, start at their usual order. The 5 are initial applications of mind, vitakka, sustained applications of mind, vichara, rapture, piti, happiness, sukha, and one pointness is ekaggata. These are the nature of jhana. There are 4 jhanas. First jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and fourth jhana. Who is in first jhana? That person with vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekaggata saita patamajjhana. Patamajjhana means first jhana. He has all these things. What are? He has mind, sustained applications of mind, which are rapture, piti, happiness, sukha. These 2 words, little bit similar with in English, but in Pali is big difference are there. Rapture and sukha, piti and happiness, piti and happiness. These 2 words look like similar, but not similar. There are similarities with each and every word because all these are achievements that we can develop. So the first jhanic level, you can see all these nature. Mind, sustained applications of mind, rapture, piti, sukha, ekaggata, all these things would be there. So you might heard about the 7 factors of enlightenment. 7 factors of enlightenment. When someone practice and to attain enlightenment, these 7 factors would be there. In here also, some factors are here. But these factors, when someone attain in jhana, they can enjoy with this, but these are loose. Breathing here, happiness is here, and rapture is here with them. But that happiness, that rapture can be changed anytime. when they are coming out from that jhana, so then they may not have that rapture or happiness. It might losing from them. This is the nature. These are temporary achievements. But how long they stay in the jhana, their achievements, that long they can experience. This done sustain applications of mind, anchors the mind on the objects, keeping in their thoughts its functioning of examination. To clarify the difference between these two factors, initial applications is compared to the striking of a bell, sustained applications to the bell's reverberations. So this is kind of explanations to know about that nature. Rapture. The third factor is the delight, the joy that accompany a favorable interest in the objects while happiness. Fourth factor is the pleasant feeling that accompanies successful concentration. So all these nature have kind of similarity, but it's explained in different ways. But anyway, when someone achieve these jhana, they can experience these things. Not only achievements of jhana, when you start to practice meditation, how much you can develop your concentration, how much you can stay connected with the meditation object, then at that time, in some degrees, you can experience all these things. But very short, very temporary time period would be there without practice. But this is the nature. That just think about when you sit in on cushion to practice meditation, perhaps you might have bad time in the morning, but in the evening you are sitting on cushion to practice meditation. At that moment, you are able to practice your meditation without focusing on any of bad experience that already you experienced. At that moment, you don't have any bad thoughts in your mind. You are away from them. Because how long you can stay connected to the present moment, that much you don't have any worries. Because worries, unhappy stages regarding your past experience, all these are past, already gone away from us. In this moment is the moment that you are living, that you are experiencing. So when we able to focus on this moment, another word, be mindful in this moment, so you don't have any unhappy thoughts there. Then sukha, there is happiness. Sukha means that, happiness, because away from anger, away from unwholesome experience, you don't have anything in your mind at that moment while you are practicing. But when you are coming from that moment, so you might lose everything and come back to again to your natural way to start to think about and develop your unwholesome thoughts. So it's happening. But anyway, even though we are not in jhanic power, we can experience these qualities ourselves while we are practicing meditation, how much we can be mindful regarding mindfulness means present situation. How much you can connect with present moment, that much level, that much time we can away from all unwholesome thoughts and unwholesome experience, then we can be happy. Happiness is there, sukha is there. The fifth and final factor, absorptions, is one-pointedness, which has the pivotal functions of anything, the mind on one object. You know, one-pointedness means and focusing on one thing, you can go into very deeper level in that way. When concentration is developed, these five factors spring up and contract the five hindrances. we were talking about five hindrances. So when we develop that concentration level up to jhanic level, so at the jhana, when you are experiencing jhana, you don't feel five hindrances. Five hindrances away from you. We discussed five hindrances. These are five hindrances: sensual desire, kama chanda, ill will, which vyapada, slotha and taupati, midda, restlessness and remorse, uddacha kukucha, skeptical doubt, vichikicha. These thoughts are not arising in your mind when you attain first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, or fourth jhana. Any jhanic level, you are ready to away from these five hindrances. It means you did not eliminate this. Still, you are living with this, but at that moment, your mind is very clear. Your mind is one pointness, and you, as a result of that clearness, that clearance with these defilements, you are maintaining that clean mind without influence of any of these five hindrances. Five hindrances are not there, but other defilements under control. At that moment, not arising, but avidya is there still. Avidya is there. If you don't have avidya, then you or attain enlightenment. You can realize, you can see things as they are. But avidya is there under control. At that moment, avidya, like something that you are holding under the water, giving some effort. When you taking out that effort, I mean your hands, that ball will come up again. And same way, avidya is there. Not only avidya, even other hindrances and everything is there. All these things under control with the power of your concentration. The power of your concentration, you are able to control those things. It means when you are able to develop your concentration, you have some kind of ability to control your mind, to control your mind. You are not ready to drive according to your mind, the way how it's behaved regarding unwholesome roots, with the influence of unwholesome roots. But when you develop your concentration, you are not ready to behave like that. But there is opportunity to control all these defilements. But when you get into jhanic power, at that moment, you don't feel any of these hindrances. You completely away from that hindrances. But later, when you're coming out that jhana, hindrances will come again. Then this part is very important. With the strengthening of concentration, the original object gives rise to another object called learning sign, Ugga Nimitta. Learning sign, Ugga Nimitta. When the learning sign appears, the meditator leaves off the primary sign and fix his attention on the new object. In due time, still another object will emerge out of the learning sign. This object called counterpart sign, Patibhaga Nimitta, is a purified mental image, many times bright and clear than the learning sign. The learning sign is compared to the moon seen behind the cloud, the counterpart sign to the moon free from the cloud. So these two things are very important, Ugga Nimitta and Patibhaga Nimitta, because sometimes when you start to practice meditation, seeing these things, and sometimes some people come to us and they say, Bhante, I can see some lights, I can see some kind of special things through my concentration. So am I attain jhana, something like that? So we have to be very careful with these things because sometimes these things will misguide us in our practice. But anyway, when we develop our concentration, developing our concentration as a first things we can experience Uggha-nimitta, learning sign. Through, without stopping there, you're ready to develop more and more your concentration, then you can see Patibhaga Nimitta. Now, Uggha Nimitta, like a moon with cloud. Cloud is the moon. There is light. You can feel something there. There is something, but not clear. But you know, there is something. You can experience some lights there, but it's not clear because it's covered by the cloud. So this is the nature of Uggha-nimitta. Means in this stage, with your meditation objects, your concentration is very clear. Your experience, you are experiencing something, but it is not complete clear yet. It is not complete clear yet. Because still kind of darkness is there. Influence of your defilements is there. You are not free from influence of your defilements yet, while you are experiencing Uggha-nimitta learning sign. So when you are experiencing Uggha-nimitta without stopping there, you ready to pay attention and develop your energy and effort to continue your practice. Then you can reach Patibhaga Nimitta. Patibhaga Nimitta, through that Patibhaga Nimitta, you can see things very clearly. You can see the moon, you can get lights. Now you know everything what is happening there. Because all the clouds move away. All the defilements fading away from your mind at that moment. No any defilements. It is completely clear. So you can see your mind without any defilements at that moment. Beginning, you can see some lights, but still covered by your defilements. But the second step in your concentration, you can see very clearly your mind, not something else, not outside things. You can see your mind. What is it? Rising, falling, everything you can see there in your mind through your mindfulness and concentration. Seeing your mind, you can feel happiness, you can enjoy with rapture. All these qualities should be there with you. So learning signs, or which we call Uggha-nimitta, we don't want to misunderstand. Okay, now it's clear to me. No, it's not clear yet. We have to continue without losing our practice to get Patibhaga Nimitta. Then you are very clear. Your mind is very clear. Your object is very clear there. So then you have to continue more and more. Then you can see the last results. It means you can gain wisdom. You can, if you want to attain jhana, yes, that can happen there. And if someone willing to attain enlightenment, yes, they can go through other steps. Simultaneously with the appearance of the counterpart sign, the 5 observance factors suppose the 5 hindrances, and the mind enters the stage of concentration called Upachara Samadhi, access concentration. This is the next one. Upachara Samadhi, access concentration. It is also the highest level of concentration. Now you know the first one, learning. learning concentration, and then you are turning into Patibhaga Nimitta, and this is another step, Upachara Samadhi, access concentration. So, in access concentration, Upachara Samadhi, you can completely control your hindrances, particularly 5 hindrances, and you control your tendencies, you control your anushas, you control your asravas and everything at that level, So in this level, you can really enjoy even Pojjhana, until the Pojjhana. You can enjoy in that level. With the further practice, the factors of concentration gain the strength and bring the mind to absorb the apana samadhi, like access concentration, absorptions like the counterpart sign as object. These are some stages. Keep this in your mind, the way how we can develop our concentration. You don't want to worry about your concentration. Oh, I'm practicing, I don't feel any of these things. No worries. Keep these things as knowledge. One day you can experience through your practice. The kind of deeper level things. Therefore, it is not easy to recognize or understand it once. It's take time. For now, just take as words, later try to experience. This is my advice about these things. First, just take as a words to do some kind of investigation. Then through your investigations, you can see it applying. The 4 jhanas make up the usual textual definitions of right concentration, thus the Buddha says, and what monks is right concentration, herein secluded from sensual pleasure, secluded from unwholesome states, the monk enters the dwells in the first jhana, which is accompanied by initial and sustained applications of mind and filled with rapture and happiness born of seclusion. This explanation you can see in Satipatthana Sutta. Satipatthana Sutta, as you know, the explanation about your mind, in that part you can see these explanations. In Satipatthana Sutta, even that red book, you can see in that red book, page number 178. You can see that in that red book. So now we are ready to touch about jhana. Let's see, mainly. Then with the subsiding of initials and sustained applications of mind, by gaining inner confidence and mental unification, here enters the dwell in the second jhana, which is free from initials and sustained applications, but it is filled with the rapture and happiness born of concentration. In the first one, we have 4 things in here. In the first stage of our first attainment of first jhana, rapture, happiness, and all other things would be there. When we practicing in first jhana, Priti, Sukha, Ekagrata, Sahita, Patamajjhana. That's the way how it's explained in Pali. One-pointness is there, happiness is there, concentration is, all these things are there. Practicing and practicing, then you can get into the second jhana through the first jhana. In the second jhana, you can see all these qualities inner confidence, gaining inner confidence and mental unifications, he enters and dwells in the second jhana, which is free from initial and sustained applications, but it is filled with the rapture and happiness born of concentration. Is the nature of second jhana. So then moving to practicing and developing second jhana, that person can attain to third jhana. With the fading out of rapture, he dwells in equanimity, mindful and clearly comprehending, and he experiences in his own person that bliss of which the noble one says, happily lives he who is equanimous and mindful. Thus he enters and dwells in the third jhana. At the third jhana level, happiness is there, equanimous and mindfulness also there. Equanimous and mindfulness is there. Now, a person who attains third jhana, at that level, concentration level is very high. At level, concentration is very high. Therefore, his equanimous and mindfulness is very high level, is very deep level. So this is the way how we can attain the third jhana, and practicing, then we can attain fourth jhana. In the fourth jhana, with abandoning of pleasure and pain, and with the previous disappearance of joy and grief, he enters and dwells in the fourth jhana, which has neither pleasure nor pain, and purity of mindfulness due to equanimity. Now you can see, when you go through all the stage, first and second, third and fourth, very important thing is equanimity. Equanimity is the most high priority things. So it means we have to take these things as a result of when we reach in through our wisdom, concentration, developing our concentration, we are trying to gain wisdom. Still, we don't have wisdom. I mean, we have some kind of wisdom, but as Buddhists practice to gain wisdom means to realize the reality, to see things as they are. When we able to see things as they are, the highest thing is equanimity. Equanimity. At that level, equanimity level, reaction would be neutral. Reaction would be neutral. When we see something, we ready to take as beautiful and ugly. When we hear something, we ready to take as beautiful and ugly. You don't like something, I don't like to hear that. It is not beautiful. So when you taste something, oh, I like it, and something you don't like it. This is the normal way that we have. But equanimity level, you don't have any response for that. Because nature of your equanimity, you know something beyond the way that mundane person accept it. Beyond the way the mundane person experience. Through your wisdom. Because the concentration is in higher level at that moment. So then your equanimous, the quality of your equanimity is increasing step by step. When you attain enlightenment, way beyond jhana, so then you have complete equanimity. You don't have, you are not see the world like beautiful, ugly, like, dislike, this kind of thoughts are not there. But flowers are there, they can enjoy. When they thirsty, they can drink water. When they sleep, they can sleep. When they're hungry, they can eat. Even the Arahant beings, they eat, they drink, they sleep, they walk, they see things with equanimity. They don't change their mind. There is no way to change their mind. to accept or reject any of these things. So this is the nature of equanimity. So then through this concentration, we are developing our equanimity. So the way how we see things, the way how we take things are different now in this development. Through these developments, we are going to change our concept. It's changing itself through these experiences. The concepts would be changing. When we able to come to that level, the way how we deal with things is different. Now, we eat for what? Just because of hunger? No. You are not eating just because of hungry. You are eating as a habit. You are sleeping as a habit. You do things as habits because we already programmed. We already programmed. Few years going to schools and going into different path and different things, looking some different things. We already programmed. Because of that program, already all these things in our mind, we do things. When you come into that concentration level, with the development of your equanimity, you're going to change your system completely. You're going to eat because of really you are hungry. At that moment, you eat to survive. To survive. Not thinking the taste, not thinking of any kind of enjoyment there. Just to survive. It's completely changing. The stanza that we use before eating in our meal process, this not me. There is no any particular living being. This body is a result of many things. The food that I am using, these foods and the body are similar with the elements. Food also elements, body also elements. There is a deal taking these foods into body and body trying to develop energy using consuming that food. But food also elements, the body also elements. There is no any living being. So this is the equanimous level, how they accept the world, how they think about the world. This kind of changes would be there with that equanimous level. The jhanas distinguished by way of their component factors. The first jhana is continues by the original set of 5 absorptions, practice, initial applications, sustained applications, rapture, happiness, and one-pointness. These are the things we already discussed. To master jhana, he should enter it repeatedly and perfect his skills in it until he can attain it, remain in it, emerge from it, and review of without any trouble or difficulty. So, these are the fermentation, asrava. Attaining jhana, there is no way to address any of these asrava. Asravas or fermentations are there. But developing concentration, now go beyond that jhanic level, attain in sotapanna level. Sotapanna means the first level of sainthood. At that level, with the help of concentration and wisdom, now we are ready to address these things. Asrava, tendencies, hindrances control in jhanic level, but attaining enlightenment steps, we ready to address all these defilements. So there are 3 asravas, fermentations of sense desire, kama 7. Fermentations of desire for continuous existence, bhava 7. Fermentations of ignorance, avidya 7. These are 3 asrava. All these asravas are able to address, go beyond jhanic level through the concentration and gaining wisdom. Without gaining wisdom, there's no way to address these asravas or fermentations. So this is the way how it's happening. Now you can see 10 petals are here, the stage where we can eliminate defilements. The first stage, stream entry. Stream entry means sotapanna. At that level, you can eliminate 3 fetters, which we call belief in permanent self, doubt, belief in religious rituals. Attaining sotapanna, you can eliminate these 3 things: belief in permanent self, doubt, belief in rituals, religious and rituals. That is stream entry. Then, second step is sotapanna sakadagami. Once returned. Sotapanna nature is that person can come back to the world 7 times, up to 7 times. In sotapanna, who attains sotapanna, if that person is not able to attain enlightenment in that life, he can born in this world in 7 times. That would be the maximum time. Stream entry person. Second person, which we call Sakadagami, he is one returner. If he not able to attain enlightenment in this life, in this very life, he might come again to the world 1 time, only 1 time. Definitely he attained enlightenment in his second life, second birth. But at that time, as a once returner, Sakadagami person, he ready to eliminate sensual craving and ill will. Sensual craving and ill will. So then, now he already eliminated 5 fetters. 5 fetters. Belief in permanent life, self, doubt, belief in religious rituals, sensual cravings and ill will. All these 5 tendencies, 5 fetters already eliminated by person who attained the second level of sainthood, which we call Sakadagami or once returned. There is another thing that we have to keep in our mind. When we are able to do these things, it means attaining stream entry, you are able to eliminate 3 fetters and same time you are controlling other fetters, which is not addressed yet, but you control, it's happening. The person who attained once returned level, he already eliminated 5 fetters, but he had been controlling other fetters too. It is the nature. So then, non-returner, anagami level, Sakadagami, and the next one is anagami, non-returner. In non-returner level, he eliminated he already eliminated all other defilements, likewise desire for rebirth in world of form, desire for rebirth in formless realms, pride, self-righteousness, ignorance, all these are controlling very deeper level. But still, that person is with ignorance and some other few defilements. Even though he completely eliminated first 5 and he controlled thoroughly 6 and 7, this means desire for rebirth and desire for rebirth in formless realms. These 2 things completely controlled, but still he's remained with other but in very subtle way, still working with other defilements. So attaining enlightenment is the time, that means becoming arahant is the time that someone can eliminate all defilements. Nothing remain with that stage when someone attains. This is the way how we can end the samsaric suffering. This is the way how we can finish this birth and death circle. If someone asking the way how we can establish our happiness, this is the way. These 10 fetters, breaking and controlling, not just controlling, eliminating from our mind, we can establish our happiness. So this is the way how it's happening. So all these are results of power concentration. All these are results of power concentration. It is completely dependent on the level that we develop. We can discuss these things. Just we spend almost 1 hour, but to exactly do these things, we need more and more practice. But in Mahasatipatthana Sutta, it's explained, within 6 days or 6 hours, you may be able to. But I don't know, it's completely dependent on your capacity. In your capacity, how much you develop. If you develop enough, so then within 1 nanosecond, you can realize it. You can attain enlightenment. Until that, we have to pay attention to practice and develop our concentration and to gain wisdom. So now it might be clear for everybody about Noble Eightfold Path, and through this path, what we can gain. Through this path, what we can gain. These are supramundane level. The final things that we discuss are supramundane level. Before that supramundane level, there are jhana. Jhana belongs to that worldly level. In this worldly level, we can experience jhana. Experiencing jhana, we can away from some difficulties what we are facing in this present moment with this mundane life. There are some people who are not experiencing any jhana, directly attain enlightenment. It can be. Up to jhana, it's explained in other traditions also. Hindu tradition, Jain traditions, all these traditions explain about jhanic things. Only this part means Sotapanna, Sakadagami, which means streaming enter, once return and unreturn and Arahant. All these 4 steps talking by the Buddha, only the Buddha. This is something special wisdom which we call Dhammakaya or Asavakkaya Jnana. Wisdom of elimination, defilements, elimination of defilements. So that is unique to the teachings of the Buddha. It is only can teach by a Buddha, not others. But jhanas are there even before the Buddha. There were some people who met the Buddha who already was experiencing jhana. Even the Prince Siddhartha's father, Suddhodana's teacher, Asita, his name Asita. Asita was experiencing jhana. He was in that jhanic power. It means even before the Buddha, there were people who experienced jhana. So jhana is not the things that introduced by the Buddha. Jhanas are the results of your development of concentration, no wisdom yet. But the Buddha's teaching based on to develop your wisdom, not just jhana. not just concentration. We need to go beyond that to break all the system, to think out of the box. We have to apply this method. That is the way, the real way, how we can think out of the box. Until then, we are in the box. So to going out the box, so we have to attain stream entry, or once return and unreturned or arahant, then we can eliminate all the defilements, no more suffering, no more samsara. So all these are the results of our sila, samadhi, panya, which we call Noble Eightfold Path. Sila means moral or discipline. Samadhi means concentration. Panya means wisdom. So we apply Noble Eightfold Path to achieve this goal. So this is the one and only path for our liberation from samsara and to establish our happiness. Okay. Thank you very much.